Welcome to Red Zone Tactical. This is a free seminar on the 72-hour kit and what should be in there. Now this is just an opinion. This is my version of what's in my 72-hour kit. What you want to remember is right now my kit is packed for spring, summertime. Every 3 months when the season changes is a good time to think about changing what's in your kit. First of all, you want to change, wintertime you're going to obviously need stuff to keep yourself a lot warmer. But for every 3 months, if you think about it changing seasonally, you can take out the older food, replace the food, replace your water, replace the things that are perishable in there so that you always have fresh stock. You know, if you're going with an MRE or something like that, you don't have to change them out, but you know, maybe once a year if you want. Sample them, try them out, make sure it's actually something that you're going to be able to live off of for 72 hours. I mean, the most important things when you're thinking of 72-hour kit, you know, I'm not talking, you know, it's a zombie apocalypse coming down, so, you know, we've got to tool it out with nothing but ammo. Think about every scenario that you might possibly want a 72-hour kit for. You know, the Red Cross is a great resource to go and look at as to what should be in a 72-hour kit. FEMA, MEMA, all of those have their own versions. And basically, when you look at 72 hours, you need to survive. It could be, you know, you were in a car accident or in a snowstorm and, you know, you're out there and stranded somewhere, or in a bug-out situation. We don't have really too many bad situations in this area as far as, you know, tornadoes and things like that. But what we do have is, if you look, you know, around here, we get a train track about about a mile and a half away. So if you look at noxious gases in that train, they could do a mass evacuation. Just want to be able to grab something quick and go, and know that, yes, you probably have some place that you can go to, but just to have some of your things with you when you go. I keep this in my vehicle when I go on any kind of a trip. You just never know. Just might need one of the things that's in there. Doesn't mean that you're always going to need everything in your pack, but just to know that I know what's in my pack, and in any kind of situation I might be able to use it. It hasn't happened to me personally, but a friend of mine who keeps his 72-hour kit in his bag last week came across a guy who was in a car accident and was staggering, walking, trying to find some place to go. He didn't have a cell phone, and he's bleeding profusely. You know, and having some medical training, he said, first thing I did was went straight to my bag, grabbed my rubber gloves. He says, and grabbed them. He said, I knew they were in my pack, so I grabbed my gloves and went, applied first aid while I called 911. So it's, you know, you might just want things out of your pack one at a time, and it's just one nice way to keep it. For me, again, comfort, 72 hours. If by chance I had to be out there and I had to be lugging this for 72 hours, I want to keep it under 30 pounds. You know, I'm not going to load it up with 25 pounds of canned goods and another 50 pounds of ammo and be running around out there. You know, I'd be eating everything the first day just so my pack would be lighter so I could walk on the second day. Second thing I look for is comfort. You know, you want it to be semi-comfortable. You know, I've got nice padded straps, padded back on here. When we get into the inside, I don't put anything in this panel in here that could be sharp or jagged or stick into your back, because that would just, you'd walk 5 minutes and you'd be pulling the whole thing apart to adjust everything. So when you start packing your bag, just make sure that everything's good. Again, not everything that you're going to be out there for is for OPSEC. You know, as far as operational security, you know, we're not at war here in the United States, so I'm not looking to put my bag together so that it's, you know, I don't have anything shiny, or, you know, it can't make any kind of noises, you know, so, but to each his own. I mean, some people, that's what they want their bag for. And if that's the case, then, you know, they would camo wrap things and make it so that he or she could be more concealable while they're out there. What I try and do is I try and organize my pack. This side here, I always know on my left side is my fire starting. Now in the prep and survival type of mindset, they say that 1 is none and 2 is 1. So you always want to have at least 2 of every kind of system that you can have. Basic magnesium starter, scrape it off, spark it, get some tinder to go up. And this one here, it's the more traditional and hopefully the one that I'll be able to use, and not that one if my life depends on it. Bic lighter, supposedly good for 240 hours, the original Bic lighters of actual light time. I've never tested it out myself to make sure but it's, again, and these can dry up, so when you do some replacements on your pack, check your fluid levels and change them out. Always make sure that they're going to work for you. These can corrode. Try and keep everything wrapped up in baggies, and we'll get into baggies more, but obviously if you go down in the water, you go down somewhere, everything gets soaked, baggies going to protect everything. What I also have in here, use pill bottles. They're waterproof. I take and buy Strike Anywhere matches. I cut a piece of the material off of there, glue it on the inside of the cap. Again, glue it on the inside of the cap. If it gets wet on the outside, again, it's not worth anything. And just because they say Strike Anywhere, they usually don't. They usually want there to make a chemical reaction. What I've done to my matches is just to waterproof them a little further, is just dip them in candle wax, and that way there it keeps the heads drier as well. So the heads stay dry, and it also acts so that the heads don't dry themselves right out, so that when you really need them, you're going to have them. Again, a pill bottle makes great carriers. Your film canisters also make great carriers, but put the striker on the inside and you should be good to go. If my lighter doesn't work, hopefully my matches will. And if my matches don't work, I'm going to work. The other thing I keep in here is tinder. And the tinder that I use and find lights the best is 100% cotton balls wrapped with Vaseline. Pure 100% petroleum jelly. And one of these, you take it out and you fluff it up, and you could use your Strike Anywhere or whatever. But if you get that going, that fire will last a couple of minutes, and then you can build your fire off of that. Again, this isn't a complete lecture type of seminar, so any questions, just if you have any comments, just throw them out there, because I really don't want to sit up here and talk about everything all by myself. And again, it's not like I'm the foremost expert on this stuff. This is one man's opinion as to what goes in my case. So I always keep all my fire starter stuff in one area. I know where it is, and it stays on my outside within easy reach. Because if I'm out there humping and I get hurt or something happens, fire starting is probably one of your most important things. You want to be able to access that pretty quickly. Right on the outside, water bottle. Again, you want to change that out every so often. It's going to be good still to drink after a year, but if you don't have to, why? Another thing I keep on the outside here, I keep some baggies. I keep a very large baggie and then a smaller baggie. What I use the baggies for, it can be used for two things. One, they can be used for water hauling. You can get to a water source, you can fill up the baggies. I use the Ziploc type with the zipper across the top. You can shake them up and down. They pretty much hold water. I mean, I wouldn't want to use that as my full bladder all the time, but it's good for transporting water to and from your site. And also, the large one can be used as your garbage bag. You don't want to be leaving all your detritus all over the place. If you're making a mess, clean it up. On the other side of my pouch, what I keep over here is a set of warm weight gloves. Again, they're not super warm weight gloves because we're going into spring and summer, but at nighttime it gets chilly and just keep your hands warm. I also carry a watch cap in there. You can pull it over, cover my ears. They say 80% of the heat from your body escapes out of your head. Put a hat on. Spork, knife, fork, spoon. And again, I keep this to the side because I don't want it in the inside anywhere, because this would be one of those things that could jab you in the back if it just gets moved out of position. I also keep a shemag in here, a scarf, and it can be used for anything as far as you can wrap it around your face, you can use it as a scarf, you can use it as a bandana, you can also use it as a water filter to filter the dirt and the mud out of water before you stop boiling it. And I'm not going to go through and put everything back in there, otherwise I'll spend half the time just doing that. On the outside of my pack, within easy reach, a whistle if I'm in danger. Hopefully, being in Massachusetts, somewhere you're not going to be walking too far, hopefully, where if you need help, a whistle's not going to be heard. I keep my knife on the outside. Within easy reach, I can just reach right behind me and grab my knife if I need it for any reason. Compass on the outside. And everything I've got it locked down on here and attached with paracord besides just being in their holder. Branch comes through, takes it out, falls out. If it's not attached actually to the compass or the knife, then you could lose one of your most valuable instruments. I keep a good quality carabiner on the outside. You never know. Worst case scenario, if you're sleeping out at night, use the carabiner or some paracord, put your pack up 7, 8 feet up in a tree, keep it up off the ground. That way there, if you fall asleep and some wild animal comes through, they don't tear through your pack, take all your crap, and now you're really in a survival mode, especially if that's all you had. This here is my first aid pouch, and I have that attached again right to the outside, so I don't have to climb through everything and take everything out to get to my first aid. Because if I'm hurt, I need my first aid. I want that quick. I carry a lot of stuff in here, and again, I don't carry, for a squad. I carry it for me or one other person. I've got aspirin, I've got non-aspirin, Tylenols, moleskin. Most of us aren't used to hiking, and if you had to be out there for 72 hours, you could be in your dress shoes. I mean, you don't know what kind of footwear you're going to have on you. So moleskin, because you're going to blister up. Tape, your Band-Aids, antiseptic, Tums. I've got some anti-diarrheal tablets in here. I've got some most of your butterfly clips and things like that. I also keep in here aloe coat. It's good for your lips, but it's also good. It's the white stuff, so you can use it under your eyes, on your nose as a sun shield, depending on what time of the year you're out there. You never know, you might need that. Aftercuts and scrapes, antiseptic, just a spray, keep you clean. Because a lot of times if we're out there, your hands are going to be dirty and stuff, and you're going to be trying to apply first aid to yourself if you're alone. So you can use this to spray off the wounds, and that way there you're not trying to rub a soap or something with your dirty hands into your wound to spread the infection. I've also got my EMT scissors in here, and everybody's seen Rambo, right? The guy falls out of the tree and his arm's all bleeding, and he opens up his knife and he pulls out his needle and thread. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have enough dexterity to thread a needle while I'm bleeding all over the place and to suture myself up, and that's a lot of pain in a long period of time to do that. A stapler, a skin stapler. It's a medical skin stapler. Holds 25 staples. They're relatively cheap. They're like $9, and they're quick. So yeah, it's gonna hurt, but it's only gonna hurt for a second as opposed to the needles. And if I'm bleeding in an area where I only have access with one hand, I'd rather just snap them on there and be good to go. I'm not a doctor, but I think I'd rather trust myself with one of these than, and also I've got the staple remover in there.